Hey, everybody, what's going on? What's hot? What's hip? What's happening? What's shaking on your hump day? As always, we here at the Tom Gully Show hope you are getting the full, total, and complete amount of hump that you so desperately crave and you so rightfully deserve. Today, I am going to tell you about the Hoover Dam. You can see it behind me there, kind of, sort of. There's parts of it, whatever. Which is one of the greatest marvels of the man-made world. And you'll probably find out some things about it you didn't know. So there you go. The most cheerful chat room on the internet is already saying hi to each other. Baby, 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 baby. I love that at the end of the song. Folks waving hi to Ronald. Ronald has been back to the condo for Bushmills. And I say that all the time, and you guys might just think that's just like a saying or something. No, that's true. And it's an amazing story. It's an amazing story. Aku says, alive and avoiding capture. Are you still... No, that was Sven Dunkel that was at his mom's house doing some painting or something. Diana Bryan says, you beat me to saying that, Joker. It should be a pretty damn good show today. Take us on a damn tour. Okay, let's get it out of our system. Hey now, Joker. Actually, don't get it out of your system because you should do it the whole entire time. Tekken Forces says, good evening, Tom. Are you planning to cover the Battle of Hoover Dam as well? I didn't know there was one, but if there was, I'm not covering it unless it's in my thing. But I don't think it's in my thing. I might have put it in my thing. Depends on what you're talking about. Aku says, my boss told me I'd like my job today as I'd be feeling nipples. Then he handed me a grease gun. Julian says, my vacuum broke. Damn Hoover. Okay. Ronald Bateman says, hello, everyone. Yes, I did drink Bushmills with the great Tom Gully. Sorry about the Ridgeport food. It's all part of the story. If it hadn't have been for the terrible food and the terrible night I was having, then the whole thing never would have happened. And that was way before I was famous. Sorry. I was never famous. Terry Nee says, you have a lot of damn knowledge. Randy says, chef and crew in the house. That means the entire kitchen down there at Union Station is whipping up some of them fancy pizzas and appetizers they got there. I guess you're going to keep that gig and also do the Eli. Never mind. Maybe I'm not supposed to mention that. Joker Fish says, hello to Diana O'Brien. Why? Well, because we have the most cheerful chat room on the internet. I'd stake the cheer level of our chat room up against any chat, even like one for the Salvation Army or fans of the Mickey Mouse Club, or, hey, this is some of that Dr. Pepper, strawberries and cream zero. Oh, God, is it good. Ronald Bateman says, still a nice feather in the cap to drink hard alcohol with you, sir. Well, I don't drink that often. I just don't. And I got out my fancy shot. Remember the octagonal shaped drinking glass? I got out the fancy stuff for you guys. Let's see here. No, just lilies. Okay, well. Very happy for you for that gig. That's a good gig. Terry Nee says, here in Pennsylvania, our damn trout are huge. Bet you they are. Especially in western Pennsylvania. Julian Zezer says, I love Dr. Pepper, but strawberry and cream seems like a crime somehow. Well, really, I don't know why it's even Dr. Pepper branded, because it doesn't taste that Dr. Peppery. It's more strawberry and a little cream, but it's delicious. They could call it frog vomit, and I would drink it. It's so good. It's really good. Anyway, and earlier, and I normally don't eat before the show. I like to be starving during the show, but I didn't eat all day. I guess it's been 2.5 hours, 3 hours ago. I made some crab rangoons, and they were good too. Julian Zidger says, might be a regional thing, but never saw that around here in the Northeast. Well, maybe it is. I don't know. I got this at Walmart. they're releasing a lot of new zeros. And I would say that you probably can't find it at like a convenience store. You're going to have to go to a place where they sell it by the half case or the case. That's where I got mine. Oh, yeah. That's where I got mine. So, and when I was living in Utah, they had a whole bunch of the Coke Zero flavors. They had like orange. They had orange and cream, orange and vanilla. Sorry, they was like 6 or 7 different flavors. I can't find any of those now. They only have like Coke Zero and one other flavor always. Tom's going to throw StreamYard down the spillway if it acts up. Well, that might be a problem. Julian Jesus says all these brands throw stuff against the wall and see what sticks. Well, this is sticking. It's been around for a while. Brett's Hollywood Show, who is one of the most hilarious people in the entire Dabbleverse or the internet in general, says, I feared I'd be persecuted if I shared this publicly, but I feel like the Gully Show is welcoming environment. All jokes aside, I'm legitimately Batman. I live in a cave with a butler. Well, the welcoming bosom of the Tom Gully Show, of course, always is welcoming you. Hey, please like, share, subscribe, retweet, do all those things, because we got to get more subscribers here. We need a lot more subscribers. We've been creeping up a little bit gradually, but we could really use a lot more. And those are all free things that you can do. Another thing you're going to want to do is turn on your gifted memberships, because people do give memberships here now that we're monetized. And the link to do so is down here in the crawl. It's youtube.com/@TomGullyShow/allow_gifts. There it is right there. It's on the screen right now. So do that, because there could be some people purchased a bunch of memberships the other day. I don't know that they've all been given out. Maybe they have. I don't know. Julian Zeta says Brett's tan is too perfect for him to be Batman. That's part of his disguise. He can take care of that in the Batcave. Let's see here. Aku Mugen says Pib was good, odd but good. Got lucky with this supply of this stuff. Mr. Pibb's just as good as Dr. Pepper. Kind of. SG Fanboy says big fan of Tom Gully's bosom. Well, you know, I try. You know, there's a great documentary about the fact that due to some weird way the contract was written, Dublin, Texas was the only place that was making Dr. Pepper with real cane sugar until about 5 years ago. And the Dr. Pepper company couldn't do anything about it. And then they finally came down on them with a bunch of lawyers. And I don't think they're doing it anymore, but the real cane sugar. Akumugan says Tab was good, odd but good. Oh, Tab. Eek. Tab. You could taste the saccharin in Tab. Eek. But it was 1 calorie, that's for sure. All right, I got to open my thing here. Hold on. Let me open my thing. Let's see here. Hoover Dam. I don't know how many of you have been to the Hoover Dam. It's a concrete arch gravity dam, which I'm going to tell you what that means. The history of the Hoover Dam, which, you know, is almost 100 years old now, by the way. It's 88 years old, you know. But the history of it's much longer than 88 years old. Here, let me give you a picture. There's a picture of the Hoover Dam right there. That's an old picture. So as the United States began to expand into the Southwest, which is a very sparsely populated and, you know, desert pretty much, you know, they're expanding that way because people are moving out there and stuff's starting to happen. The Colorado River was the primary source of irrigation water. There's just no water out there, but the Colorado River kind of cuts through there. So in the late 1890s, okay, well, that's way over 100 years ago, this land speculator built a canal just north of the Mexican border, and he got water, okay, from the Colorado River. And his canal had this catastrophic breach that caused water to go everywhere that it wasn't supposed to go. One of the railroads that had an interest in the area being settled and used for agriculture and things, the South Pacific Railroad, spent $3,1906 to stabilize that waterway in a really failed attempt to make something happen, and hoping they'd be reimbursed by the federal government. But even after everything got straightened out, it didn't work out. The Mexicans disputed who owned the land and all this other stuff, so they said forget it. Now, as this was going on, there was a technology that was being developed, and that is electric power. All right? And they started to look at the lower Colorado River as a source of hydroelectric power. They had seen how rivers and waterways could power turbines that would create electricity. And of course, in the early 1900s, they're trying to get grids up everywhere. They want everywhere to have electricity. So in 1902, the Edison Company, the Edison Electric Company, yes, that Edison, Thomas Edison of Los Angeles, did a survey of the river. And they were going to just build like a 40-foot dam that would generate about 10,000 horsepower, which is 7,500 kilowatts, which you don't care about. That's not that much power. And the limit that electricity could be delivered was 80 miles. And there were hardly any customers within that limit. The place, out where they wanted to do this had no people. So they're like, well, what are we doing that for? So in the years that followed, the Bureau of Reclamation, okay, they started looking at ways to use Boulder Canyon and the Colorado River to create a dam that would be capable of a lot more. So in 1922, which is over 100 years ago, the Bureau of Reclamation did a report, build a dam for flood control and electric power generation. All right. And it was authored by some really famous people with a lot of sway. The Supreme Court got involved, all right, because some people said the U.S. shouldn't be even doing this. And they got zero guidance from the Supreme Court on how they should allocate the water, which is really, really important out there. I lived out there, and water is a giant deal. Now, you get water from the mountains in the spring when it washes down, but there's a lot of areas that water is extremely sparse. And things like the Colorado River have these little estuaries that go off on it. And there's not a ton, but there is some water. And the states that are in the basin of the bottom of the Colorado River, California, Nevada, Arizona, Utah, New Mexico, Colorado, and Wyoming, man, they need that water. And they all banded together to form sort of a loose configuration that could negotiate the terms of the water rights and all of that. So they keep trying to get legislation to authorize the construction of this dam. And it keeps getting beaten back because people think it's too expensive. And after all, there weren't that many people out there. If this would have been New York City or some highly populated area, there would have been a lot more support for it. But these people are in the middle of nowhere, so nobody's really fighting for them. But then, in 1927, there was a flood of the Mississippi. And that made a lot of Congress really sympathetic to the need for a dam, because the dam is going to control the water. It won't flood anymore, and they'll have the water to use. So, in December of 1928, President Coolidge signed a bill authorizing the dam. And the Boulder, it was not called the Hoover Dam to begin with. It was called the Boulder Canyon Project Act. And they were going to take $165 million of that time's money and go ahead and do it. So 6 of the states in that loose group approved this. Arizona didn't approve it until 1944 because Arizona is just a little backwards on some things. So even before they started getting this approved or anything else, the Bureau of Reclamation said, what kind of dam should we build? All right, and this is really important. Here's another picture for you, by the way. This is really important, and this will get into, I'll explain in just a second what kind of dam it is. This is been decided on by the Bureau of Reclamation, and it's an arch gravity dam, okay? And those 2 words are very, very important. As you can see from this photo, there is an arch. It is curved, okay? That curve serves a purpose. That curve serves to put the pressure of the water on both sides of the canyon, which then causes 2 sides of the canyon to sort of press together to keep the dam compact. The other thing about this dam is that it's really thick at the bottom and tapers up to the top for reasons that are probably obvious. You want the dam to be strong at the bottom. So the curving arch portion, it transfers all the force, the tremendous amounts of force of all that water to the abutments, to the sides, and that would be the rock walls of the canyon surrounding it. The thing is like 660 feet thick at the bottom, and at the top, it's only 45 feet thick. So it tapers up. And at the top, that 45 feet allowed for a highway that connected Nevada and Arizona. So they put out a bid, and eventually a company out of Utah, the Wattis brothers, wanted to bid on it, but they didn't have the money to be bonded. They didn't have the resources, but they joined in with another group, with the Pacific Bridge Company of Portland, Oregon, which didn't have really a dog in the fight. They weren't part of that compact. So 4 other companies jumped aboard with them, and so the joint venture was called 6 Companies Incorporated. And there were 3 bids. 6 companies said, we can do this for $48 million. And that was within like $2,400 of what the government secret estimate was of what it would cost the dam to build. And it was $5 million less than the next lowest. And so they said, you got it. Las Vegas wanted to be the headquarters of the construction, but instead they decided to build a city near where the construction was taking place, and that city is now Boulder City, Nevada. So there you go. A whole town got together just because of the building of the dam. So, oh man, SG Fanboy has gifted some memberships. Man, if you don't have your memberships turned on for the Tom Gully Show, it's right at the bottom, right here, right now. Thank you so much, SG Fanboy. YouTube.com/@TomGullyShow/allow_gifts. Do that. Get yourself a membership. I don't know what it's worth right now. We'll do some member stuff coming up, but you gotta, better to have it and not need it not have it, as my dear father would say. Now, who did they get to work on this thing? Well, guess what? There was a depression going on, as we've talked about before. So all these unemployed people converged on southern Nevada. Las Vegas was only 5,000 people, but it grew to 20,000 when this project began to be announced. A government camp was established for surveyors and other people, and it soon became surrounded by a a squatters camp known as McKeeversville. Dropped my ring. Another camp was Williamsville, but it was known as Ragtown. I mean, all these little sort of weird camps sprung up. By the way, Apache Indians were employed as what they called high scalers during the construction. They were able to walk and move about very, very easily because they'd been, on the mountains and stuff, and they didn't have the same fear of falling as the average white guy. They had this sort of Zen ability to factor the fact that they were on a board way up in the sky. They just have a different mindset. Anyway, the site of the Hoover Dam, can get as high, and it did the very first summer, 120 degrees. And 16 of the workers that first year and other people working on the riverbanks died of heat prostration in just a month. The industrial workers of the world hope to unionize the 6 companies, but they sent 11 organizers, and those guys were all arrested by the police. And the company that was doing all this cut wages for the tunnel workers. There was tons of sort of labor issues, with the building of it. By the way, here's the 2 dudes that are responsible for the construction. One of the guys is the superintendent. His name is, come on, where are these 2 hunyucks? Come on, where did I put them in my thing? The guy on the right is General Superintendent Frank Crow with Bureau of Reclamation engineer Walter Young. That picture was taken in 1935. They look like they'd be fun to hang out with, don't they? And incidentally, if you'd like to see just what those high scalers were doing, this is what they were doing. They're just kind of hanging out there, breaking rock and doing stuff way up in the sky. So before the dam could be built, the Colorado River had to be diverted away from the construction site. They couldn't have all that water flowing through where they were building. They needed that diverted. So they dug these diversion tunnels through the canyon walls, 2 on the Arizona side, 2 on the Nevada side. And these things were 56 feet in diameter, and their length was 16,000 feet, or more than 3 miles. And the contract required these tunnels to be completed within just a year or 2 of the beginning of the construction, with a $3,000 a day fine for any delay. So, there you go. And they built the tunnels. And they used pneumatic guns, and they used concrete. They poured concrete to create the tunnels, and the river indeed was diverted. They diverted a river. So after that, as if that wasn't enough, that project right there was gigantic. Hey, why don't you build me 4 3-mile long, 56 feet in diameter tunnels through rock? Sounds like a party. They had to build these spillways in case the river overflowed what the tunnels could handle, so that the men working on the site weren't drowned, which is important. So anyway, the guys at the top, we talked about the high scalers. Now those guys were up there climbing up and down canyon walls, removing loose rock with jackhammers and dynamite. Now, falling objects were the most common cause of death on the dam site. And so the high scalers were actually saving people's lives as they smoothed these walls. When a government inspector lost his grip on a safety line and began tumbling down a slope in almost certain death, a high scaler was able to intercept him and pull him into the air. And this construction site, dam hadn't even been built yet. It was a tourist attraction to come and watch people building this. And people were especially interested in watching these high scalers because they were kind of like high wire acts. You know, they're up here doing this crazy stuff, and there's not a lot of protection. There's no net. You fall and you're dead. Some of the scalers, because this is before hard hats really, they would take their sort of straw hats or whatever else they had, and they would dip those in tar and let them harden. And so when they got hit with stuff, it didn't hurt them. So the 6 companies ordered thousands of what were initially called hard-boiled hats, later named hard hats, and strongly encouraged their use. In fact, you can see them on the heads of the high scalers there. The underlying rock foundation of the dam, okay, they built this foundation. They hadn't started building the dam yet. They just made the foundation, right? And that was reinforced with grout. So they took that foundation and just filled in every nook and every cranny, as deep as 150 feet into the rock. Okay? That was so that the foundation would be stable, but it was also there to prevent any water to seep underneath the foundation and create what they call uplift, upward pressure from water under the dam. Okay? And this was done with incredible time constraints due to the fact that they had a set date to start pouring concrete. So there you go. So the dam's completed, and they found that out of the 393 holes, 58 of them were not done properly. So they went and drilled new holes and filled them in, but that took 9 years, and they did that in relative secrecy, so nobody would be freaked out by the fact that, you know, not all of these were done perfectly. So the first concrete was poured in 1933, in June of 1933, 18 months ahead of schedule. Okay, now, because concrete heats and contracts as it gets hard. All right. So when you pour concrete, it heats up and it contracts. All right. The potential for uneven cooling of the concrete and the contraction of it at uneven rates was a serious problem. And so they figured out that if they were to pour all the concrete at once, which would be almost impossible given the size of the dam, it would take 125 years to cool. And the resulting stress of that would cause the dam to crack and crumble. Instead, they put these rectangles into place, and they poured the concrete in blocks and columns, some of them 50 feet square, 5 feet high. So each 5-foot form contained a set of 1-inch steel pipes, and very cool river water would be poured through those pipes, followed by ice cold water from a refrigeration plant. And that was their way of keeping the concrete from heating too much and contracting too much, but also to control the rate at which it heated and contracted. Now, they put these blocks side by side. They're building like a Lego dam here. And grout was also used to fill the hairline spaces between the columns, okay? And the spaces between the columns had grooves in them to increase the strength of that grout joint. The concrete was delivered in huge steel buckets that were 7 feet high, 7 feet in diameter, okay? These buckets, okay, weighed 20 tons when full. And they were filled in these massive concrete plants on one side of the dam. So they built a concrete plant on one side of the dam. And they were delivered to the site in special rail cars on a special train track. And then they were suspended from aerial cables that were used to deliver a bucket to a specific column. There was different grades of aggregate that they used on various parts of the dam. So that bucket had to be sent to the proper place because the concrete in it had different aggregate depending upon where the concrete was being dumped. A total, you're not going to believe this, a total of 3,250,000 cubic yards, not feet, yards of concrete was used to create that dam. By the way, another 1,000,000 cubic yards were used in the power plant and the other things that they constructed around there. More than 582 miles of cooling pipes were placed within the concrete. 582 miles. Overall, there is enough concrete in the Hoover Dam to pave a 2-lane highway from San Francisco to New York City. New York City! Here you go as we get closer to the finish of the construction there. So there's that, right? The dam was finally completed, and there was a formal dedication ceremony on September 30th, 1935. It was supposed to coordinate with a tour that President Franklin Roosevelt was having. So they avoided mentioning the name of President Hoover, who the dam was later named after, but most of the work had been completed by the time the dam was dedicated, and the 6 companies negotiated with the government through late 1935 and early 1936 to settle all claims and arrange for the formal transfer of the ownership of the dam to the federal government. That was all done in March the 1st of 1936. The Secretary of Interior formally accepted the dam on behalf of the government, and the 6 companies was not required to complete work on one item, which was a concrete plug for one of the bypass tunnels. That tunnel had to be used to take in irrigation water until the powerhouse went into operation. Now, people died in the construction of this dam. In fact, there's a plaque there dedicated to the folks that died building it. It says, "They died to make the desert bloom." 112 people were reported as dying in association with construction of the dam. The first was Bureau of Reclamation employee Harold Connolly, after following from a barge while surveying the Colorado River for an ideal spot for the dam. Surveyor John Gregory drowned on December 22nd in a flash flood looking for an ideal spot. The final death occurred on December 20th, 1935, when Patrick Tierney, an electrician's helper, fell from one of the 2 Arizona side intake towers. 3 workers took their own lives on the site for whatever reason. Of the 112 fatalities, 91 were 6 companies' employees, 3 were Bureau of Reclamation employees, and 1 was a visitor to the site. So there you go. Now, here you are. Part of the reason for the dam was electric power. And so evacuating the dam area, the powerhouse and everything else, was done in simultaneous construction with the building of the dam foundation and its abutments. So this U-shaped structure had a powerhouse inside of it. And it was completed at the time of the dedication. It required 500 men to finish it. It was bomb-proof. It was constructed with layers of concrete, rock, and steel, about 3.5 feet, topped with layers of sand and tar. Just to show you how they get some of this, here's a picture of them sort of offloading water. Now, that's done for irrigation purposes, depending upon the height of the Colorado River and Lake Mead. Right behind that dam is a natural lake, a man-made lake called Lake Mead. Right now, it is at low tide. It's a drought going on. And so this thing is not really providing a lot of electric power right now. There's another dam out there that's undergoing bad problems because the water level has gone way down, and they see some bad structural problems on that dam right now. That dam is it's further north, and that dam is the Glen Canyon Dam, and it's another Colorado River dam. Anyway, there you can see how they generate the power. It's that water cascading through there because they control the flow of the Colorado River from the dam out. So they have these giant Alice chambers, turbine generators that are gigantic. Would you like to see how gigantic they are? I thought you'd never ask. Here's how big they are. Boom, shakalaka. If you're a tourist, at least you used to be able to. I don't know that you can. See all those turbines there and see them tiny little people at the bottom? That's how big they are. I think there's another thing here I can show you. The water that gets let through there. Here's a guy inspecting just one of the pipes that's got the water flowing through it. And there's way more than one of them. So as I mentioned, the level of electricity has been decreasing with the falling water levels in Lake Mead because there's been a prolonged drought since 2000 and a high demand for the Colorado River's water. So it's been going down. However, it is capable of generating 10.3 trillion watts per hour. That's the maximum it ever did. That was in 1984. And the minimum was 2.6 trillion watts per hour. The average is about 4.2 trillion for the years 1947 to 2008. So there you go. Now the power, you may ask, who gets that power? That's things in the middle of nowhere. Who gets the power? Well, the Metropolitan Water District of Southern California gets about 28%. The state of Nevada gets about 23%. Arizona gets 18%. LA by itself gets 15%. Southern California Edison gets 5%. And then after that, it's various cities in Nevada and, well, just one Nevada city, and the rest are California. Boulder City gets 1.77. Glendale, California gets 1.59. I'm not going to mention these tiny amounts, but Pasadena, Anaheim, Riverside, Vernon, Burbank, beautiful downtown Burbank. By the way, I hope some of you went to Tubi and watched Laugh-In last night. Episode 1, Season 2. I did. I'm going to watch some more of it tonight. Colton, California, and Banning, California. So there's a lot of spillways that protect the dam from being overtopped. In other words, from the dam from filling up too much and the water flowing over it. There's a bunch of them. The spillways are located behind each abutment, which are the sides of the dam, and they run parallel to the canyon walls. So in the event that the water got too high, those spillways on the side would open and reduce the level of the water. Those overflows go into these giant tunnels, and that takes care of it. There is a roadway at the top, 2 lanes for automobile traffic at the top of the dam. And after the 9/11 attacks, authorities expressed security concerns about that bypass. They don't want people really driving on that anymore, I guess, unless you're there to see the dam. So they built a bypass around it they inspected vehicles and did all that. But anyway, Hoover Dam opened tours in 1937, but following the attack on Pearl Harbor, it was closed to the public, and then it was reopened after the war. And the attendance in the 50s was like 500,000 a year. It's closed for the deaths of presidents and things like that. Visitors can only purchase tickets on site, so you can't buy them on the internet. You can't get them at a travel shop or anything like that. But if you're on site, you can purchase the tickets, and you have the option of a guided tour of the whole facility or just the power plant. The only self-guided tour is for the visitor center, which is like a little museum. However, you do have a 360-degree view of the dam there. Now, the bridge that goes across the top of the dam, that bridge is known as, that spans the two sides of the canyon, is known as the Michael Callahan Pat Tillman Memorial Bridge, obviously named after Pat Tillman, the NFL star that lost his life in the war in Afghanistan. But Hoover Dam was recognized as a National Historic Civil Engineering Landmark in 1984. It's on the National Register of Historic Places and all of that stuff. And it's been cited for its engineering innovations. And when you think about it, for it to still work, for it to still be doing all that stuff, for it to still supply water, because please keep in mind, this thing was built not just for power, but to control where the water went in that portion of the country. Now, one of the side effects of the building of this dam is a decline in estuaries. In other words, because the water is so clearly controlled, all those little estuaries that I talked about, and estuaries tend to be somewhat stagnant, but they do provide moisture and water to portions of the land. Those don't really exist anymore. And that's one of the criticisms of the dam. But, you know, it does control and capture the water much better than it had been done previously. So, with all that being said, that, ladies and gentlemen, is sort of, and you could do a week on the Hoover Dam, but that is the story of the Hoover Dam. And now I think it's time to get to your comments, because that's my favorite part of the show. Hold on. Let me drink it like Stuttering John. Sorry. It would have to be in a gallon jug. I know. All right. What do we got going on here? Let me see here. We've got 23 people watching us right now on YouTube. 16 on X, formerly known as Twitter. We love the Twitter viewers. We really, really do. But I got to say, YouTube is the preferred way to watch the show. You can interact in the chat. You can get free memberships, which SG Fanboy was very kind and donated 5 free memberships. You can do all sorts of other stuff, and it also helps us from the standpoint of viewing hours and monetization and a lot of other things. I don't mind Twitter, but Twitter blocks StreamYard from you posting and me posting back to you. So if you don't want to, I'm with you. Don't worry about it. But if you want to, do. And I thank you, Twitter folks, because you don't get enough recognition for watching. SG, whoa. Brett Hollywood says chocolate Dr. Pepper was the thing about a decade ago, and it was the next level. Really, chocolate Dr. Pepper was pretty good. SG Fanboy, as I mentioned, gifted those 5 memberships. I'm not in the YouTube chat room, so I don't know who or if anyone got them, but I hope so. SG being widely regarded by his chatmates there. By the way, Twitter folks, we do have the most cheerful chat room on the internet. I don't know if you heard, but it is the truth. It's very cheerful in there. Pazza Patriot, as usual, says, sorry I'm late. Nobody's ever late to this show. Chocolate, you say. Terry Nee says, Dam is still curing. It probably still is. Diane O'Brien says, I tried that, Tom, not helping. Not sure where I'm supposed to go to put the email. I don't think there is an email. You just go to that web address and there's a button you click or something. Pretty sure. Somebody help Diana. Aku says, I can't think of the brand off the top of my head, but there's a brand of energy drink that has amazing flavors. Spot on orange creamsicle. I can't drink the energy drinks anymore. They just, I love them, and I've been drinking them for a long time. And let me get rid of this picture. And I just can't do it. It's too much. I can't even, it's just too much. And I love them, and it's too bad, but chocolate Dr. Pepper was amazing and legitimately a thing about a decade ago. I remember it. It was, you know what it was kind of like? It was like remember Tootsie Pops? They had a Tootsie Pop. They had it like it was I forget what flavor it was. It was like cherry, and then it had a chocolate outside. It was kind of like that, only better. Akumugan says, Ghost is the brand. Amazing flavors, and they make great protein powder, apple cider donut, Oreo birthday cake, just to name a couple. I've had the Ghost energy drink. It is very good. Damn Gravity. Gravity is undefeated against humans, by the way. Never lost. Hugh says, does anyone give a damn about this? See what I did there? Oh, hey, Tom. Oh, hey, Hugh. Ronald Bateman says, mine are on. Your gifted memberships are on. You must be on an iPhone. Apparently, according to producer Joe, there's something with iPhones that messes. I don't know. Positive Patriot says, you're like a wealth of information, Tom. I always learned so much in these streams. I read a lot of books when I was younger, and I have a lot of free time. Terry Nee says, white guy. Weren't there Asians there, too? I think there might have been. I didn't take a poll. But I know that the high scalers, those Apaches, they subsequently, a lot of them got hired to work on to work on large scale skyscraper construction for the same reason. They just don't get vertigo. They're used to being up. There's books that have been written about it. It's a mindset, and they're suited for it. Toby McGroby, how you doing, Toby? Says, hey guys. People saying hi to Toby because we are the cheerful chat room. Jenny says, finally able to catch us so live. Hello, everyone. Hello, Jenny. How you doing? Jenny G. It's Jenny G. Good to see you. Wondering if I know Jenny. 8675. Never mind. Lyndon is here. Hello, Lyndon. What's up, my man? People saying welcome. SG Fanboy says 23 live viewers, coming close to TSN numbers, Tom. Yeah. Well, the non-fake ones. Yeah, no, I'm kidding. But only 14 likes. Hit that button. Yeah, please hit that button. Like, share, subscribe. Love to get more subscribers. And then retweet. All those free things. All the free things. You don't have to super chat. You can do the free things. Toby says, I forgot to. Don't worry about it. It's no big deal. SG says, I like the way you think, Jenny. Yes, Jenny, we all like the way you think. I know you're new here, but we like the way you think. We like the cut of your jib around here. Toby McGrovey says 150 feet into the rock. Yes, 150 feet of solid rock. The golden age of engineering. You got that right, Julian. And of construction marvels, truly amazing. Kahuna is here. Hello, Kahuna. He said, hey, gang. Toby McGrovey said they even had to control the temperature of setting concrete. Imagine the stress on the engineers with all the extra variables on top. Yeah, man. You screw up on a job like that and the dam breaks and a bunch of people drown. Big Kahuna being greeted warmly. SG, oh, my good friend Deanna Marie, she picked up on my New York City, my paste pecani sauce reference. Julian Zezer says slide rule manufacturers' prayers were answered when the Hoover Dam was approved for construction. Dam plaque, too soon? Too soon? That damn plaque. I don't think it's Stinson. I think you're safe, Terry D. Yeah, I think when it turned the year 2000, the statute of limitations. Oh, by the way, the phone lines are open at 972-994-6822 if you want. SG gifted 5. Sweet. Now that's a pipe. You can inspect that with a submarine. You actually could. A U-boat, anyway. Thanks for the membership, FG fanboy. Yes, thank you for doing that, SG. You're a very generous gentleman. Aku says over in China they poured a massive dam all at once. Due to this, there are massive cavities, largest 20 by 20. Yeah. Dam road. Amazing engineering. Kahuna. Sorry I didn't notice the chat. This is really a good show today. Ronald Bateman says a true rented lips. A true modern marvel. Yes, it is. SG Fanboy says, you're welcome. Damn visitors. Damn visitor center. Damn bridge. Aku, that's insane. Jenny G says, wow, I can't wait to go back and watch this from the beginning. Yeah, give it a watch. They're all here for you. You know, they're all on demand. Great video as always. Thank you, Deanna. That is so nice of you. Toby McGraw said, Tom, that was a good one. SG Fanboy says, get your asses over to YouTube. Oh, do what you want. Enjoy it however you want. They can't read this. They can when I put it on the screen. They can't otherwise. If I didn't put it on the screen, they couldn't. I'm sorry, man. I ratted you out. Julian Caesar says the Chinese Three Gorges Dam is actually structurally solid, but 4 million people were displaced by its construction. Well, that's China for you. Toby McGrovey says, I like the SJ-style toddler sip, too. Just a second. Man, when he has that V8, that imitation V8, you know, that knockoff store brand V8, it's ridiculous. Lyndon, thank you so much for the $2. That's very generous of you. I appreciate that. Every little bit helps. Thank you so much, sir. Toby McGrovey says, Julian, 4 mil. Sometimes it doesn't take a lot to make me laugh. Jesus. Terry Nee says, Tom, I drink one energy drink over many days. I keep it in a water bottle after opening. It's a great way to get a bump once in a while. Well, I've been going back to coffee, and that seems to get the job done. But I love the taste of energy drinks, and I love the pop you get from them. But from a kidney standpoint, and just it also kind of puts me on edge a little bit. I'm a little bit, hey Tom, how you doing? Who wants to tell you? You know. So Aku says, I've been meaning to send Tom video of how bad the construction is over there. Literally, apartment buildings lean because of hot spring drilling. Does not surprise me. Jenny says, you may know me from Uncle Rico. You may know me from such videos as... Now, I imagine I do, Jenny, and I apologize for not having noticed that before. And I'm just glad you're here, lady. I'm just glad you're here. Goat, who has a funny name, says, Tom, have you watched any Alan Partridge? It'd be right up your alley. I've watched pretty much all the Alan Partridge. It is hilarious stuff. Deanna Marie says, hey, Tom, thank you for getting my reference. Terry Nee says, great damn story, Tom. Julian Caesar says, Ethiopia dammed the Nile and Egypt threatened to blow it up if it filled too quickly. I don't doubt him. Reverend Wild Bill says, well, damn. Well, damn. Let me see. I got some show programming notes. Tomorrow night, you know what I got to do tomorrow afternoon at 4 Eastern? I got to go all the way to Irving, and I've got a meeting, and it's going to last an hour. That's 5 Eastern. I ought to be back here by 5:30. So I ought to have plenty enough time to do tomorrow's show. Shouldn't be a problem there, but there could be, but there shouldn't be. Next week on Wednesday and Thursday, and I'm trying to get out of this. I volunteered to do something because I was all rah-rah and thought it would benefit me. I am now convinced that it will not benefit me, and but I already agreed to do it. From 11 to 7 Central, which is noon to 8 Eastern. So I'm going to be looking for your guys' input on what I should do in terms of, would you like me to do a late night show on both of those days? Like, you know, it would literally be back in 8, that's 9 o'clock. It would be 9 or 10 o'clock Eastern time on Wednesday and Thursday. And I'm happy to do it. If anybody wants a super late night, test it out, whatever, I'll do it. Because I don't want to not do shows. My only other option is to do it before noon Eastern, and there's too much other stuff going on. There's Rico or DS show and everything else. So anyway, I'll leave it to you guys, and you can tell me what I should do about that. So Aku says, sadly, due to my work schedule and load, phrasing, I have to supplement energy drinks in. Just double my water intake to try to balance the side effects on my kidney. Well, that's probably a wise idea. These damn puns are the lowest form of humor. Reverend Wild Bill says, open mouth, insert foot. Kind of. Let's see here. Julian Zezer says, lol. He's lolling. Aku says, late night show would be perfect for the LFL show. What's the LFL show? Oh, Lingerie Football League. Well, it's on my list here. You guys think I don't have a list? I have a list. I got another assassination for you too, but I'm saving that maybe for next week. But the superstars, Jim Brown, Jay Johnson, did laugh in. Marshall McLuhan, and the Lingerie Football League. So maybe one of those is a good late night Lingerie Football League one. That's a good idea, Aku. I don't know how it'll be any different than the show we normally do, because these are all on demand. And, you know, is it mine? Yes, you had a good idea, Aku, and you didn't even have to fall off anything. I've only got 4 minutes. I think we've got a Rico and a Replayables here in about 3 minutes and 45 seconds, so I'm going to have to get out of here pretty quick. Phone lines are closed by now. Sorry. They were open, but I closed them. What time in the UK, Tom? Oh, my goodness. It would be late. Let me see here. In the UK, let's see. If I don't know, it was 7, 8. Let's say I was doing it. It would be 10 Eastern. 10 EST is what time in London? Oh, well, that'd be good for you. Whoops, 10 p.m. Actually, it would not be good for you. Sorry, Diana. 10 p.m. Eastern is what time in London? That's 3 a.m. in London, which means it's 3 a.m. all over the UK, I guess. But anyway, all right, I got 2.5 minutes here. Let's see. Oh, no, I meant the assassination. No, you're not going to be assassinated. That would be 2 a.m. for you. Ha! 3. Ha! Ha! Damn, I'm almost out of soda. Well, the show's almost over, so you timed it perfectly. Now you just got the backwash. Hey, yo, Tom and my fellow gully heads. Hello, Doc Torn. Good to see you. Aku says, rock around the clock tonight. Boom! Boom, boom! Oh, SG fanboy, man. It says, best damn show so far. SG Fanboy, you continue to be super generous, and I very much appreciate it. I got to do something nice for you, brother. Down to 4 cans from 12. Took only a couple days. Well, this zero stuff will help you, man. I love this zero stuff because I feel like I'm drinking healthy. Diana O'Brien says, oh dear, bit late. I'd have to watch on replay. Sorry about that, Diana. Let's see. Doc Torn says, just got a new phone, so was setting that up. Well, now you got it all set up. It's all set up. Toby McGrovey says, if you do a Jay Johnson episode or two, would you be able to give us a heads up a few days in advance? I don't want to miss it. I will, and I also have... I recorded Jay live many times. So I'm going to play some of those live recordings that nobody else has. Well, a few people I might have given them to, but and then maybe YouTube won't be terrible about it, and I can also react to them, so it's transformational, and I fair use it and all that, which, you know, Jay's not alive to say it's okay anymore. I guess I could call up his family, but anyway. Oh, I got 30 seconds to get out of here. SG Fanboy, you, sir, man, you are just super generous, and I very much appreciate it. Everybody else, thank you for being here. Thank you for supporting this show. It's been a long road, but you guys have made it worth it. And there's Rico and there's replayables, I believe, in just a mere seconds. Go get out of here. Go watch those shows. I'm going to go watch them. And the only thing left to say really is, till next time, we'll see you next time.